Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about the muscles of the eye and the face. So to start, right here on the right side I have the chart that I made with ChatGPT for the AI references. So it has the muscles of the eyes and face, just a summary of them, and then it has a nerve that innervates them, and then the movement and action that it provides. So the ones that I chose to do are highlighted in yellow. So these are the two eye muscles that I chose, and then these are the three facial muscles that I chose. So I chose the medial rectus. This this muscle is innervated by the oculomotor nerve, so cranial nerve 3, and this this muscle adducts the eye. And then the other one I chose was the lateral rectus. The nerve that innervates this is the abducens nerve, and this is cranial nerve 5, and this abducts the eye. And then for the facial ones, I chose the zygomaticus major, and that's innervated by the facial nerve cranial 7, and then this elevates the corner of the mouth, which is the smiling. And then the other one I chose is the buccinator muscle, and this is innervated by the facial nerve, which is C7 as well. And then this compresses the cheeks, so we're going like that. And then the mass eater is the other muscle I chose, and this is innervated by the mandibular branch of the trigeminal nerve. So then this elevates the mandible, so it closes the jaw. So these are the nerves that ChatGPT gave me and the actions. So we're going to compare that to what Complete Anatomy gives me, and then go over the same process. So the muscle, origin, insertion, action, nerve path, and then some common occupations that utilizes that muscle. Okay, so this is my model that I made up already on Complete Anatomy. So it just has the specific nerves and muscles that we are going to go over that I stated before. So for the first one, let me turn it this way. Let me take this off. So this is the first one. It's going to be right here. So this is the medial rectus muscle. The origin for this is the common tendinous ring. The insertion is the medial surface of the sclera. The action for this is that it adducts the eyeball, so that just means moving the eyes inward, so like this if you're looking inwards. A common occupation that uses this muscle a lot is painting. So if you're concentrating or drawing and doing things like that, your focal point is on a certain thing, so your eyes move inward. The nerve that innervates this is the oculomotor nerve, which is cranial nerve 3. So the pathway for this consists of the brain sending the signal. The signal then gets sent to the oculomotor nucleus, and then to the oculomotor nerve, and then that causes the muscle to contract. This is also used for coordination for horizontal eye movement, and it works with the lateral rectus, which we'll be going over next. And then it helps us, like, so horizontal movement is just like side to side like that. If this nerve gets damaged, rehab can consist of up to 8 to 12 weeks, and then sometimes like 3 to 4 months, depending on what type of damage it has been dealing with. Okay, so we just went over the optic. We went over the oculomotor nerve, and I just wanted to highlight it right here. So this is it in pink, and then it would just go into the medial rectus right there. Okay, and then so for the next eye muscle, we're going to go over this one. So this is the lateral rectus muscle. The origin for this is a common tendinous ring. The insertion is the lateral surface of the sclera. The action for this is that it abducts the eyeball, so it moves the eye outward. So if you're like side eyeing somebody, like looking sideways. A common occupation that uses this muscle a lot is driving. So if you're checking your blind spots or your side mirrors, this is what muscle helps you do that. So the nerve that innervates this muscle is the abducens nerve. So this is cranial nerve 4. Let me show this for you right here. Right, so right here highlighted in pink is the abducens nerve. So the pathway for this, it consists of the brain sending a signal to the abducens nucleus in the pons, and then the abducens nerve sends the signal to the muscle causing a contraction. Like I stated before with the medial rectus, this also helps with coordination with the horizontal eye movement, so moving from side to side. So the medial rectus and the lateral rectus work together. If the nerve was to be damaged, the eye wouldn't be able to move outwards, and it could lead to certain disorders like esotropia, and then I think esotropia, and then rehab for this would can go from 3 to 6 months and onwards, depending on the damage, just like the medial rectus. Okay, so those were the eye muscles that I chose from the ChatGPT chart. So far, AI was pretty accurate with what was given on complete anatomy. So, just for the eye muscles, it was pretty accurate. But now we're going to go into the facial muscles. Okay, so now we're going to go into this one right here. So this is a zygomaticus major muscle. The origin for this is a zygomaticus bone. The insertion is the angle of the mouth. The action for this is that it elevates the angle of the mouth so that it is just smiling. A common occupation that uses this muscle is any kind of leisure activity that a person can engage in, which would be like hanging with friends or just like doing any self-care where they're smiling. That's where this muscle comes into play. So the nerve that complete anatomy gave us was that it was the zygomatic and buccal branches of the facial nerve. So the facial nerve is right here. So this is the facial nerve. So this is different than what the ChatGPT AI gave us, just because it's more detailed down to the branches. But so for the nerve pathway for this is that the nerve sends a signal, and then the signal is gets sent to the facial motor nucleus in the pons, and then from there the facial nerve sends a signal to the zygomatic muscle, then so it gets sent to the nucleus in the pons, and then the facial nerve gets its signal, and then it sends a signal to the branches, so the zygomatic and then the buccal branches, and then that sends the signal to the muscle to contract. If damaged or if it has like any type of lesion, then it would weaken that side that it was impacted, so it just lead to like an asymmetrical smile. So one side would be able to go up, but other wouldn't be able to. Rehab for this could vary from months to a year, just depending on what type of damage there is. Okay, and then this is the next muscle we're going to do. So this is the mass eater. There is 3 parts of it. There's the intermediate, superficial, and deep part. So the origin for the mass eater is the inferior aspect of the zygomatic arch. The insertion is the lateral aspect of the coronoid process, and then the ramus of the mandible. The action for this is that it elevates the mandible and then helps with protraction of the mandible. So this just closes and moves the jaw forward. So closes and then moving the jaw forward kind of looks like that. So an occupation that commonly uses this muscle is eating, just because when you're chewing, you're going opening and closing your mouth and then moving your mouth forward sometimes. And then the nerve that innervates this muscle is the masseteric nerve. The pathway for this is that the brain sends a signal to the motor nucleus of the trigeminal nerve in the pons, and then it gets sent to the V3, and then the muscle then contracts. If it's damaged or has a lesion, then it could lead to weakness in closing the jaw, so just like difficulty in closing, and so it'd be angled kind of to the impacted side. So if one side was affected, it would be kind of angled that way. Rehab for this would be from about like 3 to 9 months, and then if it is seen, improvement can be seen in over the first year, depending on what type of damage there is. Okay, and then the last facial muscle is going to be this one right here. This is the buccinator muscle. The origin for this is the alveolar processes of the maxilla and the mandible. The insertion is angle of the mouth. The action for this is that it compresses the cheeks, so the cheeks coming in, so like this. A common occupation that uses this muscle a lot is a musician or just like playing an instrument. So when you're playing the trumpet, your cheeks will go inwards like that in order to play. The nerve for this is the buccal branches of the facial nerve. So facial nerve is cranial nerve 7. I can show you that one right here. Where's it going? So this is the facial nerve right here, and then the part that innervates it is the buccal branches. So this is also different from what the ChatGPT AI gave me, just because it's more detailed than just the basic facial nerve. So the pathway for this, it consists of the brain sending the signal to the facial motor nucleus in the pons, and then it then sends it to the nerve, so to the facial nerve, and then the facial nerve sends it down to the buccal branches, and then the branches sends the signal down to the muscle to contract. If this is damaged or has a lesion, then there would be weakness in the cheek compression, so they wouldn't be able to fully suck in, or they would have a kind of like, not like a dent, but a pocket in their cheek. Rehab for this varies. It could go from a month to a year depending on what the damage is. Okay, so those are the muscles that I covered, 2 from the eye and then 3 from the face, and what nerves innervate them and what actions are seen in daily occupations.